Well, hello there. Today we're going to carry on with this, so I'm going to do the final bits of the unboxing and then I'll put this case down there and I will make some bits and pieces. So obviously this is the manual that we already looked at. I've set the other bits that we already unboxed to one side. Then we've got these really cute, they're textured, I love them, lovely stickers. Let's put them off to one side. We've got a couple of different, they give you a couple of different options for wallpaper and floor and stuff. As we know, we've got two different colours of these tiles. We've also got this, which goes around the kitty shaped window, which I'll show you in a minute. We've got this, which is intended for the flat part of the wall. We've got these, which again, you can either have them as the flooring or you can have them as walls. It's all quite customizable. We've got this. Now I don't use this. I don't know what this is. So I've just got your warnings, your important information, which is fine. And then yeah, it just tells you what it's protected by, the patents and stuff. So that's not, obviously read through it, but it's not overly important. We've got this really cool embossed wall, which I really do like. And then we've got two sheets of our glue strips, double-sided sticky tape. And then we have got in here the bits of the flooring. So I'm just going to turn this upside down because I think it's going to be easier for me to unbox it. So we've got, that's one wall. You can see these holes, and that's what I was saying before. Once you've put the glue on the walls and you've put the paper or whatever you want to use on the walls, you've got this little thing and it allows you to make holes straight through there, which then obviously means that you can do things like putting the lights in, for example. With the lights, as you probably saw at the end of my last video, in the video I pushed them in, and then when I got off the video they fell out, and I was like, why has that happened then? They twist in like real light bulbs. I was amazed by that. They don't light up or anything, but it's a cool mechanism. I realised that there was like a screw pattern on them like you get on, you know, bayonet light bulbs, and realised that yeah, they screw in. So that's cool. So they won't fall out if you do that properly. That's our wall with the window cut out that I mentioned before with the bit of wallpaper. And then this is our floor piece, just to give you an idea. So it'll go that way. Obviously there's a hole here for your post. And then all we have left in here are the two posts. So this one is the upright post, and then this one clips out onto the top for stability. Obviously if you're using these to link together, because you can do that, let me just pop this back in here and I'll explain that better. You can, if you get the other spaces, link them together, and if you're going to do that, then you're not going to want this bit on the top, because obviously it will stop it from being able to clip together. Let's see if I can find, yeah, so like this, they do slot together quite nicely. So you could have, you know, a whole doll's house made from just these and clip them all together. I'm not sure if they clip together sideways or if it's just up, but either way, it's pretty cool, I think. So the first thing I'm going to do is just check this and see if we have enough tiles to do the entire floor in these, because if we do, then that would be pretty cool. Because to me that other pink is more of a My Melody pink, and I am doing, as I say, a Sanrio house. So because I'm doing a Sanrio house, I am going to have a My Melody room, and I think it would be cute, if I can get away with it, to use those tiles for that room. Even if I don't use the other spaces, I don't know if I'm going to get any more of them, but even if I don't do that, I am going to be making the other rooms of the Sanrio house the same size as this one. The exception being Kuromi and my Melodies room, which is going to be double size because it's going to be a shared bedroom for the both of them. One half coloured one way, the other half coloured the other way. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do it this way, looking at it, but we shall see. Yeah, definitely not. So yeah, that's not. And the other thing I was going to check is if these do have any embossed tiles or if it's just matte pink. It looks as though they are all matte pink, but as or not matte pink, shiny pink. But I don't think any of them have got the embosses, whereas every single one of these has got the embossing. So how much of this floor can I cover in that? Can I do a half and half using the quote-unquote wallpaper parts? Because that might be quite cute if I can. Just sort of do, you know, a section of the floor in the tiles and then a section of the floor in, you know, wallpaper. I don't know. Maybe there's a way of doing this. Sorry, I probably should have worked this out before I went on camera. I do apologise. This is my speed, as you're probably learning by now. I get very excited and then I want to do it straight away and I don't plan. The exception, of course, being at work. Okay. So there's that and that. And that bit. Okay, and then we've got... Oh, that's perfect. No, it's not. Okay. I mean, I don't know how I don't know. I do not know. I'll have a think about that while I put these tiles away. Oh, sugar. There we go. So, yeah, and there's your other corner bit for doing the other side. Whee. Obviously they show it alternating, but as I say, I really quite like the idea of this for the flooring of the My Melody side of the house. I may well have to, because I've got two pieces of that stripy pink wallpaper, so I might well cut some of that up and use that. Put that to one side. So let's see how much space we get with these. Interesting. So it would literally just be a case of that little strip there. Looking at it. Just thought it might be nice if it sort of looks like that. Yeah, I think that would be quite good. Right, let me just grab my scissors. I will be right back. Okay, so let's work this out then. So that will go right the way to that edge. And that, does that line up there? Basically. So just pop a little line there. There is a method to my madness. I do say this quite often, but truly there is. And then Does that line up with that? It does. Okay. So line that up with that. Cut it to there. Okay. I love the texture on this paper. It's really quite nice. I know you can't feel it, but just trust me, it's really nice texture. Okay, so my method. Let's get them all off of there. So this, oh no, I've just moved that, that's not good. Is it that? Yeah, I think it was. One sec, sorry. Cut a little bit off of there. That lines up a little better. That's fine. Yes, okay. So there's a little tab on here which you can pull off, and then you can pull all of that off, and that's sticky as it is. So we're just going to make sure we get that right up into the corner, like that. And then we'll smooth as we go, like that. And then we'll do the same on this one. It's going to be a lot more difficult. There we go. Okay. Just get my head in the way a second. There we go. Doesn't quite line up, which is annoying. What about this way around? No. Oh well, it's just not going to line up. That's fine. Should probably have put this at the back, but it's fine. Just make sure that we've got a little bit of an overlap there. Maybe I'll put something on that bit so it's not quite so obvious. I'm just trying to get the floor down for now, so that we've got a bit more of a cohesive thing going. And then with this one, I'm going to pop that over the top of there, and that one lines up really well, so that won't be a problem. As I say, there is a method to my madness. Okay. Think of it that way around. Yeah. So we're going to make sure it's lined up with the bottom and with that line. Like that. Okay. So there we are. Doesn't look the absolute best, but it doesn't look the worst either. And as I say, I can pop a sticker on there and pop something across here, just so that we know we've got a complete surface to go with. So the next thing I will do is grab these and I'll pop one. It doesn't matter if you cover the hole, because as I stated previously, we've got the little hole marker thing. this little doodad, so we can always do that nice and easy. And then obviously that will clip in there somehow, but we'll get to that bit. So that's that stage done. I've got so much double-sided sticky tape. I don't really need to be using these, but it's just more convenient, and it did come with it, so why not, eh? So we'll pop that one up like that. As long as you don't push it down properly, you can re-jig it if you haven't put it in the right line. So we'll just pop that there like that. I apologise if this is boring. I hope it's not. I hope you're enjoying watching it come together. But this is a process, and it does take time. But it's going to be amazing once it's done, and I'm so excited to show you all. So just pop that there. I mean, you could always, if you wanted to, leave the floor as it is and just paint it, because it obviously it had, you know, a paving slab sort of grid on it anyway. So that is another option you could go for if you wanted to. It's just up to you. That's the thing I love about this set, is not only do you get lots of different designs of things that you can use, you know, like the different coverings for the walls and stuff, but it's open to your imagination. If you have sorry, if you have other bits and pieces, you know, that you want to add to it, there's nothing stopping you. It does say in the instructions not to use anything that didn't come with the kit, but that's more a disclaimer for them, so that if you use something that you didn't get with the kit and then you complain, they can be like, well, we did tell you not to, you know. So it's not so much don't use it because it's not going to work or it's going to look terrible or whatever. It's more don't use anything that didn't come with the kit because, you know, you won't get the same results, kind of thing. But honestly, I wouldn't expect the same results. You know, I wouldn't expect to be able to have a pink stripy floor if I was using, you know, blue carpet, for example. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But, you know, I understand why they do it. It's to protect themselves. And I completely get behind that, because we don't want people complaining that they've done something they shouldn't have. You know, but as I say, it is open to interpretation. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You know, you don't have to stick to what they expect or want you to do. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think I've covered it enough. I might need to put a little bit more here because there's none here and a bit there, but I think it should be enough to keep them together anyway. But we'll see. I haven't really seen this go together, and I've not seen anyone do it the way I'm doing it, so that's fine. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get this piece in. We need to make sure that the corner matches up exactly with the corner there, like that. So that is perfectly in line there. And then just check and make sure that this is going to go in as it should. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, make sure that you can get that in before you do anything else, just to be on the safe side. Oh, sorry. Because mine was a little bit over to one side, so it wouldn't have worked had I carried on. So let's just pop that out. Oh, I can't pop out now. Oh well, that stays there forever now. It's good, isn't it? Let's hope that is the right bit. Let's just double check. I'm sure it's fine. Doop, doop, doop. Yeah. So yeah, it does show you here. If you don't want the pillar in, you don't have to. You can just use one of the normal tiles. But if you do want the pillar in, then you have to do it this way round. And they do suggest starting from this corner, and they do suggest putting the pole in straight away. Where are you? There. They do suggest doing that straight away, so it's all good. Cool. And that is interesting. So you get 20 apples, 21 bows, and 40 of the plain pink ones. So you get 41 of these in total and 40 of these in total. Interesting. Okay, let's just carry on then, shall we? So, do I want bow, or I'll put a bow. Next. Make sure that goes very flush. It doesn't have to go flush with the edge, but it does have to go flush with this tile if you don't want uneven flooring. So that's my bow, and then we'll do an apple. So just make sure that's up flush. Then a bow, then an apple. Right, I'm going to pause you while I do this because you just see me do those. You can see they're straight. There is this little white bit on the edge, but that kind of has to be there because that's where this block fits in. So you've got a nice little border around the whole thing, which will look really nice once it's finished. But I'm going to carry on doing the floor tiles and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is done now. If you're a perfectionist like me, my advice is to very carefully plan what you're going to do, because I've ended up with two bows next to each other. I went alternating and I've still ended up with that. So I should really have started with an apple, I think. I think that might have made it. Then again, I might have ended up with two apples. I'm not sure. But it won't be a problem. But it did annoy me a little bit, I'm going to be honest. So that is the floor all done. Do we like it? How do we think it's turned out? I'm really happy with it. It's exactly the kind of vision I was looking for. We've got a sort of raised area in the bedroom, or the room, and then we've got like a lower area. Yeah, I think it's really good. I'm really happy with it, in honesty. So there we are. Neil, then. I'm thinking that maybe the window should be the back wall. And I'm thinking that the side wall should be different. So we're definitely going to use that there because that's what it's intended for. So let me get that sticker taken off. And then we'll just line that up with the top like this. Make sure it's all nicely lined up so that it's going to line up with Kitty's head. Oh no, there we go. Don't line up to the top, line up to her head. That's my advice if you're going to do this one. Okay, you're going to end up with a little extra bit along the top, but that's going to line up perfectly with her head, which I think is better than lining up with the top and then it not lining up perfectly with her head. So yeah, this is definitely the way that you, in my opinion, should do it. And then we just fold that back, grab the second strip. That is the worst part of this, is peeling these bits off, but it's not the end of the world. I'm just being picky, I think. Make sure that does not stick down until you're ready for it to. And then just very gently go along. Obviously, as I say, there is a little bit of extra at the top, but honestly, you can probably just fold that over the edge a little bit and it won't look out of place. I mean, this is an open wall this side anyway, so any extras, just pull them over the edge like that. There we go. I think it's coming along quite nicely. Now for the bottom bit, I'm thinking, it being a window, that would look really quite nice there. And if I do it to the bottom like that, we're going to end up with a little bit of white left over at the top, but I don't think that looks too bad. Now, does that clip all the way down to that line? Yeah, so as long as you don't go over this line with whatever you're doing, that'll be perfectly fine to clip back in, to clip into there once you need it to. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and get some glue strips on that. Oh no. Oh no, that's the back wall, silly me. Yeah, so that'll be fine. Okie dokie, sorry about that. Right, so just pop some of these on the back of this panelling. It's quite staticky, so my hair was interfering with it a bit there. Now, because this strip is slightly shorter, I'm going to put this one to this edge so that we haven't got an entire edge that's sort of lesser with the, if you see what I mean. So this one ends here, that one ends there, so keep doing that and we won't end up with a bit that's got a lot less glue than the other bit, if that makes sense to everybody. If you do end up with an air bubble, it's quite easy to work it out again, so it's fine. I've just noticed that there is another tile on the floor, so I'm just going to pop you on pause one more second, lift this one up, see what that one is. If it's an apple, pop that there and then pop the bow back there. One sec. In a stroke of beautiful happy making luck, the one on the floor was an apple, so my OCD is now happy. That makes me a lot happier, a lot happier. And it was really easy to lift that off, to be honest. I don't know if that bodes well for the future, but yeah, there we are. So let me just continue with these strips. Sorry, I just had to pause you and go and do that, but I just suddenly realised that there was a tile on the floor as I moved my foot, and I thought, I wonder if that's the missing apple. So it was. So if you're OCD like me, and a bit of a perfectionist, don't worry about it. You've got enough tiles to do. If you just want to use the pink tiles, the light pink tiles, should I say, you've got enough to do that. If you do it in my pattern, if you want to use both, then you've got enough to cover the whole floor and have some left over. So just make sure that you're doing what you would like to do. That is the most important message I can give you. Right, let me just cut these into length strips because I don't think we're going to have enough width to get a full strip in there. I know, that's what she said, ha ha ha. I'm going to finish off this wall, plonk it in, and then I think I'm going to be done for this video for today, and then we'll do the final stages in the next video and maybe start to fill the room so I can show you what it's going to be like. Oh, if I can ever get this to work. Alright. Okay. Get off my scissors here. Okay, obviously all of that messy gluing is not going to be viewable, which is good. So we just pop these off here like that. Like that. Trying to do this as quickly as I can so as not to bore you. Okay, and then just make sure we line that up with the bottom of the wall there. Push it down, and there's your wall. So then we just clip that in there, nice and tight, and there are our first two parts of the house or space done. I think it's looking quite good. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I say, in the next one we'll be doing the final wall, all the little extra bits and pieces, and we will be just finishing everything off. Have a good one. Speak to you later. Bye.